You may not know this, but as a crocheter, you actually have a superpower, and that is that you can literally crochet anywhere. Just about anywhere. And in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing everything that I bring with me when I crochet on the go in this adorable crochet bag. I'm gonna be sharing all the must-haves that you need when you go on the go crocheting so that you can get more done for your business as well. So let's jump right in. Hey makers, welcome back to my channel. My name is Camryn and I run the crochet boutique called Camryn's Cute Creations. Here on YouTube, I love helping you grow your crochet business selling at craft shows, and part of doing craft shows is market prepping. Part of market prepping is making as much as you possibly can, no matter where you are. And today we're going through my favorite yarn bag, why it's my favorite, everything I bring with me while I crochet on the go so I can get more done no matter where it is I'm crocheting. I've crocheted at concerts, I've crocheted at dinner, I've crocheted at picnics with my friends, on holidays, in the car as a passenger princess. I've done just about all of it, and in today's video, we are gonna dive in to how you can do the same as well. And be sure to stick around until the end of today's video because I'm actually gonna be sharing some bonus tips on how you can crochet on the go. And this is some stuff that I wish I knew sooner before I started taking my crochet everywhere. So I know it's gonna be helpful for you. Be sure to stick around until the end. Let's get started. My bag, my trusty crochet bag. I actually got this crochet bag from a friend of mine, Amanda, for my birthday, I think 2 or 3 years ago. It has honestly stayed together really nicely. It's really high quality. I mean, it's gotten a little bit dirty, as you can tell. I mean, I bring it with me everywhere, but it is pretty easy to wash, but I don't usually wash it because I'm lazy. But this is the pink one. They also have other colors. It is on Amazon. I will link that down below if you want to go check it out. My favorite features of this bag are this front pouch that is just designed for crocheters. You can keep all of your crochet hooks and other notions here. There's also just so much storage. You've got these side pouches. You've got this back clear pouch that sometimes I like to put a crochet book in, or even just a normal book. I also use this bag for just other things besides crochet. I mean, there's always crochet in here, but I mean, I just use it as my everyday bag because I might as well. There's so much room in here. I don't have any yarn just to show you how much room is actually in there, and it is crazy. There's also all of these side pouches that you can put even more yarn or other things, and I'll show you everything that I have in here as well that I like to bring with me on the go. But there's all these different pouches in here, so much storage, even more little areas up here. Honestly, this thing is crazy. Another feature I really love is that you can carry it like this, like a little handbag, or you can put it on like a backpack, which is what I normally do. So those are a couple of my favorite features. I love that it's pink, but of course I love that it's pink. Obviously obsessed with pink. Even though it fits so much, it's not bulky. Like, I feel like it's actually pretty practical to bring around with me, and I can fit a ton of yarn in here. The zippers work really well. They never get jammed. They're really smooth. I really like that about it. I like pretty much everything about this. The one feature that it does have that I thought I would use more, which I really don't, is that you can actually thread your yarn through these holes and have your project on the outside of the bag. I thought I would use it more, but when you thread it through this hole, it actually makes it so that you can't really crochet without having your bag with you, like crochet on that specific project. And so I didn't like the idea that I had to use that yarn, or I mean, I had to finish that project or that skein of yarn at least while using my bag. Of course, I use my bag for almost everything, even when I'm crocheting at home, but I just thought that was a feature that sounded like a good idea, and it's just one that I don't use, but it's okay because I use pretty much just about everything else about this bag. One more thing I wish that was a little bit different about this bag too is these here. These I think are meant to carry more hooks, but they're so big that even my biggest hooks don't really stay secure in them. As you can see, they just fall right out. So I usually use this for my hooks, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal because this would just be extra hooks. All of my hooks that I use in all my sizes, oh, my 5mm, I'm working on another project in the other room, but there's usually another hook right here. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all the hooks that you need to bring with you. So I guess I don't necessarily need to use this storage, but if you did want to use this for hooks, it would have to be for like ginormous hooks or they would not hold there. Now I'm gonna go through everything in this bag, all the things that I have here and why. I also have a bunch of things in all these secret pockets in here, and it's all stuff that I love to bring with me on the go, specifically when I'm crocheting on the go, but also really nice to have at my craft shows as well. So before we jump into going through everything in my bag, I want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. If you've been hanging out here on YouTube for a while, you already know how big of a fan I am of Skillshare, and recently I've been going through some hard times in my life, some family stuff going on, and we actually ended up having to say goodbye to our family dog Jack a couple weeks ago, and it's just been really hard for our family. Anyways, I wanted to do something nice for my dad since that was really his dog. They were really bonded, and I decided to create a scrapbook, and I had no idea what I got myself into. I went to Hobby Lobby Michael's and I was grabbing all of the things, and I randomly was like, you know what? I need to look up on Skillshare how to actually scrapbook because I don't even think I'm buying the right materials right now. I turned to Skillshare and I found this class. It's called Turning Memories into Artwork, a beginner's guide to scrapbooking. It was the perfect class for me. Skillshare is just, it's so awesome. It always has the classes that I'm looking forward to learn new skills and also just fun hobbies or things like this that are gonna be really special and memorable for our family. If you don't know what Skillshare is, they are the ultimate online learning community for creatives like us. They offer thousands of classes led by industry professionals across various fields. There's film, illustration, design, freelancing, productivity, and so much more. Like I said, I got really into scrapbooking, and this class helped me out so much. She actually taught us how to make our own Polaroid photos that aren't Polaroid photos but look like Polaroid photos for our scrapbooks, which I ended up doing inside this scrapbook, and my dad was really impressed with how this scrapbook turned out. He actually texted me later that day after I gave it to him and said it was one of the best gifts anybody's ever given him, and he was also really impressed with the quality I did, and he also really loved that I did those Polaroid photos. He thought they were actual Polaroids and he didn't know how I did it, but I learned it in my Skillshare class. There was a section of this class called Designing Dedicated Pages for People and Pets, and obviously this section of the class was extremely helpful for me as I was making this whole scrapbook for our dog Jack. I feel like this class just thought of everything. They even included a section on where to store and how to display your scrapbooks, which was really cool and really special, and I'm just so excited to continue scrapbooking and having this be a hobby. I'm just really excited to keep scrapbooking now that I have all of the things and I know so much, and it was such a special gift. I'm gonna keep turning to Skillshare and learning more and more about it, and I think it's just gonna be another hobby that I have, another crafty hobby. I mean, you can't have too many crafty hobbies. Now here is the best part. The first 500 people to use my link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So join me over on Skillshare, become a member of this amazing community, and thank you so much Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back into the video and start going through my yarn bag. Let's start with the front pouch. So the front pouch is where I keep a few things. I keep some pens just because I feel like those are always nice to have. I mean, they're just kind of nice to have when you're on the go. Again, I use this bag for more than just crochet. I also keep some hooks. I have a 4mm, a 5mm that's usually here. This is my 5.5mm, my 6.5 by 7, 8, 9, and 10. Those are my most commonly used hooks. Definitely actually my 6.5 is my most commonly used hook. All of these hooks are furls besides this one. This one is a Crochet Styles hook, but I love them all. They're all very comfortable. They're also very pretty, and I love that they're all kind of different and they're fun to take with me on the go. I also have in here a measuring tape. This is so nice to have with you, especially if you are crocheting things that you need to measure, like beanies, or right now I'm working on the Taylor Swift crochet dress. Actually, by the time this video goes live, that video will have already gone live, so if you want to watch that one next, go ahead and check it out. But it's nice to have this if you had to measure anything for any of your projects, and you'd be surprised how many times this thing has come in handy. I also have in here a bunch of stitch markers. Stitch markers, I mean, those are just always nice to have on hand. If you run out of stitch markers, I've used some pretty weird things for stitch markers. I've used bobby pins. Sometimes I'll just use a random scrap piece of yarn to thread through my project, but these are always nice to have on the go. I ordered these in bulk off of Amazon because they honestly do get lost and break kind of often. So I try to keep as many as I possibly can in here just to have some as backups. I also keep in here this tension ring. I reviewed this in a video where I show some different products that help with hand and wrist pain as a crocheter. This box one was my favorite, and I like to use it when I'm working with velvet specifically, so I keep that in here on the go. I also have a couple of other little tools. I got these off Amazon. By the way, everything I'm mentioning in today's video, I will link down below for you for your convenience, but this is to make sure you're using the right size hook. You can use this tool if you don't know what size hook you're using. You can place it through here and you find the right size for your hook, and then it'll tell you what size hook that is. So it's just kind of nice to have. All of mine actually still have the numbers on them besides this one, but I just know what size it is. But it's kind of nice to have, and it doesn't take up that much room, so I have it in here. This one is for yarn, and this you wrap around and it tells you what size yarn it is. So maybe you have some yarn that you don't know when you got it and you forgot to save the label and you're not really sure, but you want to work on a new project and you don't know what weight yarn it is. This tool is super awesome for that. It is called the WPI tool, which is wraps per inch tool. And I got these off of Amazon as well. They came in a little kit, and so I just keep those together in here. I also have in here some tapestry needles, which I have so many tapestry needles. I buy these in bulk off Amazon too because these things always go missing, and I like to bring at least 3 with me at once when I go places because, like I said, they go missing easily, and I just want to make sure I have some backup ones. This tool comes in handy all of the time. This is for when you're wanting to measure your gauge. So if you're doing a lot of apparel, or honestly, if you need to do a gauge swatch for any project you're working on, this tool is not only super cute, it's a little purple elephant, and it honestly comes in handy all the time. I use this way more than I thought. This was something that I didn't have in my yarn bag, and I just kept missing it. Anytime I was working on something on the go, I was like, oh, I kind of want to check my gauge, or I was working on a new project and I needed to check my gauge and I didn't want to break out my measuring tool for that. This is just much easier. So anyways, I bring this with me, and this goes in the front pouch down here. And yeah, that is everything in my front pouch. Now I'm going to show you everything that I bring in the actual bag itself. So inside this bag, I have all these different compartments down here at the bottom, and I keep different things in different categories down here. One of the cubbies has hand sanitizer to bring on the go. This is really nice to bring with you on the go, especially if you're going out to eat or with friends and maybe you have sticky hands or something, but you want to crochet. Hand sanitizer is really nice to have, so you can pop on some hand sanitizer and crochet and not feel like you're getting your crochet all messy. So that's super nice to have on the go. I also have a hairbrush because it's super cute and super tiny. I got this for my trip to go to the Crochet Business Summit, and then I just kept it in here because I bring this back to shows all the time, and sometimes my hair is all tangled, I need to brush it. It's just nice to have on the go. So I have my teeny tiny hairbrush in there. It's actually a toddler hairbrush. The next thing I have in the next cubby over, the next little pouch over, is this little Hello Kitty bag. This is kind of like my emergency kit bag where I have Tums because I get tummy aches. I also have these Hello Kitty blotting sheets. So if I'm ever feeling like I'm getting a little oily or just want to kind of feel extra, I got those on hand. I also have some lip balm. I also have some bobby pins in here and hair bands just to have those available. I also have some Q-tips in here, which feels kind of random, but it feels like when I'm out and about, especially at shows, I need to wipe a little bit of makeup off of my eyes, so these really do come in handy. I also have a little portable makeup wipe. I don't know, it's just my little emergency kit, so I may need one. Sometimes if makeup's really all over, if I'm really done with it, I'm at a friend's house crocheting late at night, I have a little makeup wipe in there. I also have a little lotion as well, which comes in handy. Honestly, usually other people are asking if I have lotion, and I'm like, yes, I do, in my crochet bag. So these things are very practical things to have on the go. I mean, just in any bag and any purse, but I keep it in my crochet bag because, like I said, this is like my everyday bag. The next pouch over, I have this little case that carries my square card reader. So this is super nice to have. It's super portable, and I have my cord in here. I have the little square card reader, and it's nice to have. Obviously at my craft shows I need it, but it's kind of nice to have with me on the go because you'll be surprised how many people that will see you crocheting in public that want to put in an order with you. It's honestly crazy. A lot of people, if they may already know me and see me in public and want to buy something, or they see me crocheting, they walk up and approach me. That kind of brings me to the next thing that I like to bring whenever I'm on the go crocheting, and that is business cards, because so many people are going to see you crocheting on the go, and they might even approach you and ask you what you're making, and it's always a great idea to have a business card so you can hand it to them and be like, hey, whenever I'm done with it, I'll post it on my Instagram page, or hey, you know, you seem really interested in crocheting, I do classes, here's my card. Whatever it is, these are super nice to have, and honestly, crocheting on the go is really great for networking and branding and just getting yourself out there, especially for introverts, because I know it can be really hard to put yourself in your business out there, but if you're out there crocheting and somebody approaches you, it just makes it a lot easier easier, I guess, to start those conversations. So anyways, just something to keep in mind. The next cubby over, I have a couple things. I have this little tech container, and I actually just have a phone cord in here because my phone is always dying. I think it's because I'm always working on crochet projects and I have my pattern out on my phone, but my phone is constantly dying. So it's nice to have that on the go with me in case of emergencies. And I also have this little portable mic if I ever want to record anything on the go as well. And I also, let me show you, it's not in my bag right now, but it's because I was using it earlier. This collapsible phone stand is so handy to have. It collapses down really small and you can stick it in your bag, and it's so crazy. Like, you would never think I have a tripod in this bag, and it's not even taking up that much space at all. And then you just push the bottom of it. It's so easy to set up. You put your phone in right here, just like this. You can film this way, you can film and rotate it this way. So handy to have on the go, especially if you're trying to get into doing more content for your crochet business. I love this thing, and I really do try to take it with me a lot of places, especially because it's so portable and it compacts down so small. So I usually put that in the side compartment. I do have other things I use for filming content. Like, this one is really fun. It's magnetic and you put your phone on here and you can crochet and it films you crocheting. Things like this are really cool, but they're just so hard to bring around because they don't collapse down. So these are the type of things I keep here for at home. And then I like to bring that collapsible tripod with me on the go. And of course, I normally have yarn in here as well. I usually fill up the yarn just in the center compartment. Sometimes I add some in the sides as well, especially if I'm going on a long road trip or something like that. And it's just so nice to have, and I love this bag. I swear by this thing. I get so much more done in my business, and I also just feel like it's my emotional support bag. Like, seriously, everything I need is in here. Crochet, other essentials, and it's like my little safety bag when I go out and about. I am very extroverted. I love going and doing things, but at the same time, I do get anxiety, and especially if I'm sitting there with nothing to do, I'm just always feeling anxious. So if I have something like crochet to rely on, and I always have it with me, I'm not only feeling better in my life and feeling more productive, but I'm also getting more stuff done for my business as well. So I hope today's video was super helpful for you. And I did promise at the beginning of today's video that I would share some bonus tips with you. So let's get into some of these bonus tips I have for you if you are wanting to crochet on the go. Repeatable patterns that are easy to memorize, or there's not a ton of decreases, increases, color switches. A really good pattern for this is my velvet beanie pattern. It's one that I make on repeat. You only have to count once, then you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for the whole pattern. It's very mindless. I love projects like that for on the go because you don't have to memorize much and you just do it, you know? It's those projects that people watch you doing it, like, how are you doing this while being able to talk, or how are you doing this without looking? It's like, I'm just doing the same stitch over and over again. But if you're interested in any of those easy market makes, I do have some patterns on my website. I will link down below, but any easy to memorize or easy to make patterns are great for bringing on the go. Some of your bigger projects, like the Taylor Swift dress I've been working on, that's more of the projects I keep at home because it's just a lot to haul around and it can be stressful and there's a lot of counting and there's a lot of actually that dress didn't have that much counting, but still, it's just a lot and it's a bigger project. So small, repeatable, easy to memorize projects are gonna be the way to go. Another tip that I have for you when you're crocheting on the go is to resist the really light colored yarn. I mean, sometimes we're working on a custom order and we can't help it. We need to use like this bright white, but I will say when you're crocheting on the go, I just like to use darker colors just because lighter colors can get dirty so much easier and it can show so much more, and I just suggest using darker or medium colors and saving the white for a safe space at home, or you may be getting them really messy and it's just kind of easier to bring on the go if you're not bringing white. It's like wearing white, you know? I always think it's a good idea and then I always stain it. Another tip I have for you is caking your yarn using the yarn winder. I have a video actually where I go through my whole yarn stash and I use this yarn winder. It is so helpful to cake your yarn into those little cakes before you bring it with you instead of using skeins or hanks. There's a lot of reasons why, but the cakes actually end up holding up a lot better, especially when you're traveling with them. Do I do this this all the time? No, because sometimes I get so excited, I break open the skein and I just start using it immediately. But if you can remember, especially if it's like a half-used skein, to cake it before you bring it with you on the go, you're gonna save so much time that you would have wasted untangling that yarn. So definitely something to keep in mind. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't show this when I was going through all of my things. I bring scissors with me on the go. It wasn't in my bag because it was sitting right here on my counter, but I do bring little portable scissors, and I actually usually bring multiple pairs of little portable scissors. If you don't bring multiple pairs of scissors, you're gonna lose one or you're gonna misplace one, and then you're gonna be like, where did my scissors go? I swear, if I bring two, then I always have two with me, but if I bring one, it gets lost. I don't know, it just always gets lost. So bringing multiple pairs of scissors, I love these ones because you can actually fold them and they're travel safe. So if you're flying with your crochet bag, you can bring these with you. They fold up, and so they're super helpful to bring with you on the go. These are my favorite. I also love that they're purple. So these usually stay with me inside this front pouch. I can't believe I forgot that. We'll stick those right in there now so I don't forget them next time I leave. And I also usually bring an additional pair as well. It's probably in the other room right now. Like I said, all of this stuff I do use at home as well. My last bonus tip I have for you is always, I mean, please, 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 always bring more yarn than you think you will need. Luckily, this bag fits a lot, but maybe you're bringing two skeins. You're like, yeah, it's, you know, it's just one night out and with my friends, I probably won't even be able to crochet that much. Always just bring more because you never know. It's always better to have more and not use it than to run out. If you've ever been somewhere where you were expecting to crochet for a long period of time and then you ended up running out, nothing is worse than sitting there and you lost a yarn chicken and you're sitting there and you're bored and you're like, I was planning on crocheting for 2 more hours and now what am I supposed to do? So always, always, always bring more than you think. You're gonna be so impressed with your new crochet bag, your new crochet setup on the go, how much you're gonna be able to get done, and I would hate for you to miss out on those precious market prep hours. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in today's video, and like I mentioned, all the links that I mentioned in today's video will be linked for you down below for your convenience, so go ahead and check those out, and I would love to keep hanging out with you here on YouTube. If you want to keep hanging out, I will see you in this video right here. Bye!